What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Joy of Living with Dr. Joy, the podcast this podcast is for everyone. All right, today, our episode is going to be on transformative leadership, shaping school culture for success. No, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to interview somebody that has a lot of knowledge on this topic. And her name is Dr. Shana Burnett. But before I tell you about her, you know what we do on the Joy of Living show? We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Are you ready? Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. How do you feel? I know I feel great. I want to welcome Dr. Shana Burnett to the Joy of Living with Dr. Joy podcast. Thank you for joining me today. So do I have permission, Dr. Shana, to read a little bit about you so that the viewers and the listeners can know who you are? Do I have permission to do that?
Absolutely. And I just want to start off by saying thank you, Dr. Joy, for this opportunity and having me here today. I
Of course.
appreciate that.
Of course, you are very welcome. So let me get to it. Dr. Shana Burnett is an accomplished educator, entrepreneur, and author with over 25 years of experience in the field of education. So she knows what she's talking about. She began her career as a school aide, math and science teacher, and coach, and also serving as an assistant football and basketball coach. Now, that is pretty interesting. Dr. Burnett transitioned into administrative roles, eventually becoming a principal, where she made a significant impact on the communities she served. She holds a degree in behavioral science and is renowned for her expertise in transformational leadership, which she employs to inspire and motivate others towards a shared vision and positive change. Dr. Burnett is also the founder of Innovated Solutions, a company dedicated to empowering educators and school leaders through professional development and innovative solutions. Her book, which she recently published, Transformative Leadership, Creating a Sustaining and Thriving School Culture, offers insights into fostering effective educational environments and is a key resource for her consulting work. Welcome again, Dr. Shana Burnett.
Thank you, Dr. Joy.
So
Great.
I want to jump right into it. And what I would like to know, or I would like to understand what transformative leadership entails in an educational setting. So my question is, could you define transformative leadership and explain how it differs from other leadership styles in education?
Absolutely. So, transformative leadership is about inspiring change, which is also a part of my bio that you read, Dr. Joy. Inspiring change by aligning personal and organizational goals, fostering innovation,
Mm.
and cultivating a sense of purpose, right? It differs from traditional leadership by focusing on motivating and empowering rather than authority. One of my favorite quotes by Sinek is leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge, right? And one of the most impactful features of my book is a workbook section, which encourages leaders to reflect on their own practices because that's very, very important. And it provides actionable steps to improve on their craft.
Well, thank you very much for that. So, if we want to talk about the role of vision in transformative leadership, we know that the importance of a clear shared vision in shaping school culture. How does a transformative leader create and communicate a compelling vision that inspires both staff and students?
Right. So a transformative leader crafts a vision that resonates with staff and students, making them co-creators and shaping a dynamic school culture. It's about ensuring that everyone is a part of a dynamic school culture, not just the school leader. It's about ensuring that everyone is connected to the vision, they understand their roles in achieving it, and those are the key essential components of transformative leadership, embodying everyone who is within the school culture.
So, you as the leader of the school, because you're the principal, are you the one that sets the vision?
So the vision is based on the culture of the school, right?
Mhm.
Every school is very unique and has its own culture. So, with that being said, you're looking at your surrounding areas, you're looking at your student demographic, your parent demographic. So, it's a collective vision, actually. That is the importance of transformative leadership, right? It's not just about Shayna making all of the decisions, but we collectively together do this, right? We do have set goals and expectations,
Mhm.
but aligning those goals and expectations with the vision and the mission is crucial to a school organization when it relates to culture and climate.
Well, that's good. So that means what you do for one school doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be sufficient for another school because it's ever encompassing around the community that the school sits in. Correct?
That's exactly correct, Dr. Joy. School culture is very unique to the culture and climate of that school, as well as business. So I know we're talking about school, but at the end, I have some really exciting news to share. But yes, definitely, school culture is unique to the culture within that school. So what you're doing as a transformative leader is around the culture of the school that you're supporting and leading.
Okay, well that's good, and hopefully what you wrote about, and I know you could talk about it later on, but it's a you said it's a workbook, but it's something that could be transported from school district to school district to school district. And then the people that are within that school district can mold it to fit their needs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So, strategies that transformative leaders use to build a positive and inclusive school culture. What are some of the key strategies you've seen that effectively transform school culture for the better?
Absolutely. So key strategies includes fostering open communication, celebrating diversity,
Hmm.
promoting collaboration. And one of the things that I find to be so much more impactful, because if you don't have this, you can't have the other items that I discussed, is building trust through transparency, right? And shared decision making.
Mhm.
Empowering the school community um, to thrive. So we have to build trust in order to have open communication, collaboration. All of that is so essential in order. These are the strategies that need to be included in order to build a positive school culture.
So, if you're coming in new, how do you build that trust?
Getting to know your community, that's key.
Oh, okay.
So you can do that by surveying the community, going out, walking around, talking to folks, having conversations. Those are some ways. Observing, listening.
Hmm.
Those are
Oh, very good. And how long? Well, can we put a time limit on it in terms of how much of the collaboration is needed before the vision is actually set? Does that make sense?
it does. So when you're coming into, let's say a school has already been established and you're a new leader in that school, right? There's already a vision and mission, right? Pretty
Yeah.
much. It's already been established. So if you're a new leader, and this is research based, it really takes, if there are, depending on the challenges and the strengths of the school, it really takes about 3 to 5 years to actually turn a school around. And that all encompasses getting to know your community, right? Understanding the data
Mm-hmm.
and what are the strategic goals of that school, and working with staff, students, and the community to achieve that. Now, it doesn't mean that 3 to 5 years is the benchmark for all schools, but
Mm-hmm.
that's an average.
That's an average. Okay, great. So the role of teacher empowerment in transformative leadership, how does empowering teachers contribute to a healthier, more dynamic school environment?
Dr. Joy, this is so crucial. Teachers are the heart. They are at the heart of the school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because without their leadership, we're not able to educate our children within the school, right? So empowering teachers enhances and being able to enhance their autonomy is important. This builds confidence. It fosters innovation.
Mm-hmm.
When teachers feel valued, it creates a ripple effect, right? So not only the teachers, it transformed the entire school environment and
That's
benefiting students and staff alike. So another one of my favorite quotes is by Maxwell. And he says, transformative leaders don't just inspire, they empower, right? That's key, empower
mm-hmm.
others to become leaders themselves.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So you have to have the right staff. That's the
Yes,
bottom line. And everyone that is part of the staff need to be singing from the same sheet of music for this to be
absolutely.
effective. Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about resistance. How do we navigate resistance to change? Like challenges transformative leaders face when implementing change. What are some common forms of resistance you encounter when trying to implement transformative changes? And how do you address them? Because not everybody is going to jump on the bandwagon at the same time.
That is so true, Dr. Joy. And I will say, out of the vast majority, the vast number of teachers who I've worked with,
Mhm.
I would say about maybe 3 to 5% of those teachers shared or demonstrated resistance. Significant, I would say significant resistance.
So
Right.
how did you
So
get them to come to the other side?
right. So some of them, unfortunately, don't always come to the other side, but the ones who do, I would say out of the 95% who may show some form of resistance, again, because teaching is at the heart, right, of the individual, I find that it stems from fear and not understanding, right? So it is incumbent that a transformative leader addresses and listens, clarifying the vision and providing support throughout the transition. So again, this goes back to the open dialogue and gradual implementation, easing concerns, building trust, right? So you have to really know your staff.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody knows it all, right?
Right.
And again, it goes back to making sure and ensuring that your staff, those who are resistant, because some resistance comes from fear, and
Right.
providing staff members with the tools, right, to navigate that is important.
Yeah, that fear can, whether it's whether it's in leadership, whether it's every day, that we have to move away from fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real, right? So,
Absolutely.
and a
Absolutely.
lot of people don't want to implement the change because they're probably figuring, well, you know what? It was working before, so why change it? If it ain't broke, don't, why fix it, right?
Right. So in education, I am of the mindset, and I embody this. We are all lifelong learners. So
Mhm.
while we have an understanding and a comfort zone in what we've been doing, right, there's always room for growth and there's always room for learning. Every day should be an experience where we're open to new ideas and innovation and learning strategies. So, going back to your question around staff, right,
Yes.
and their resistance, one of the things I embody, and I share this throughout, whether it be informal conversations, formal workshops and meetings. We are all lifelong learners and none of us know it all, but each of us brings a special skill set that can support the greater good and goal of the organization. And that's important.
So, Dr. Shana, out of your 25 years, how many transformative leaders have you come across?
Not as many as I would like to have.
Okay.
However, I'll say this. That's one of the reasons the book is a spinoff of my dissertation, uh, understanding the various leadership styles. And I was very intrigued early on. My background in undergrad was behavioral science and understanding how people move and why they move the way that they do, right? So becoming a transformative leader means you have to really own your leadership style.
That's right.
I wasn't always a transformative leader. So I had to own my side, my dominant style initially and say, you know what? Okay, I have to work on being more transformative. So, with that being said, Dr. Joy, our leaders today, those who are not transformative, have to work on because they can become transformative if they choose to.
Can they go? Is it a special training or what is it? 'Cause I want to know, how do you go from here to here?
Read my book.
Yes, your book, right? But say, what if your book did not exist prior to you writing, prior to you doing your dissertation? How did one become a transformative leader?
It's really about reflecting, right? Again, knowing your leadership style, knowing your strengths, your challenges, being reflective and open. Also having mentors
Mm,
you can talk to, who you trust, right? Who are informative in their own craft and who can help groom you. I'm of the mindset of paying it forward, right? But we also need to be fed.
that's
So
right.
being fed and then also paying it forward by um, pouring into other folks and sharing and providing insight on what it is that they're doing. But folks have to be receptive to that, right? And open.
So that's mentorship is a two-way street. It's
Yeah.
the person that's providing the mentoring, and it's also the person that wants to be mentored. It's a collaboration between the
It,
two
it
units.
really is. And I talk about that in my book as well.
Yeah, I know you do. So the connection between transformative leadership and student outcomes. Can you share examples or evidence that show how transformative leadership directly impacts? And you know what? I'm going to change that. How it directly, positively impacts student achievement and engagement.
Right. So that's interesting. In my research, I found that school leaders don't directly impact student achievement because if you think about it, the children are in front of the teachers, right? The teachers
Yes,
are the one who are directly impacting the learning in the classroom. However, leaders can directly influence and impact student achievement indirectly through school culture.
Mm-hmm.
So ways that they can do that is by making sure that the school culture is creating a nurturing environment where students feel supported and motivated. Data shows that with strong transformative leadership, we have seen improvement in engagement, academic performance, and the overall well-being, not only of the students, but the staff as well.
Yeah, and if the staff is happy, chances are the students will be happy. So this is very important. So you talked about the word of reflection. So how self-reflection plays a crucial role for transformative leaders. How important is reflective practice for transformative leaders, and what does it look like in a day-to-day leadership?
Being reflective, Dr. Joy, is essential for growth, not only professional, personal as well,
That's
right?
right.
It involves continually assessing your leadership actions, like understanding their impact and adapting. It helps leaders to stay grounded and responsive to the needs of the school. So it encompasses a lot. Like having a reflective practice is so crucial. And it also enables leaders, when you're truly reflective, to modify and adjust.
Mm-hmm. So how
So
would one go through the reflective process? Like how often, where is, can you talk a little bit about that?
so reflective process is embodied. It's often, it's not a set time. Oh, well, I'm going to be reflective when I get home. You are reflective as you're walking, as you're talking, as you're engaging. It
Okay.
is a constant. For me, I am constantly reflecting as I'm speaking with parents or students, depending on the situation. I may have, and I'll give you an example, I may have an irate parent, right? My approach to a parent who has concerns with homework maybe, okay, this was the homework. You can get the homework on Google, on the Google Classroom. Make sure that your student logs in and gets that homework. But if I have an irate parent, my approach, I have to be reflective of, okay, this parent can't approach it that way. My approach would be different based on my reflection of the situation. The parent is irate, upset. So my approach is going to be different. I may say, hey, we have an online tutoring program that can support you and your child. Oh, were you having some concerns with how to do math yourself? Because math is how we do math today is so much different than how we were
Oh,
doing math when I was coming along.
oh yes, that is for sure. I'm sorry about if
Like
you
to a
hear noise.
parent,
Yeah, I
hey,
know. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background because they're mowing, but it happens, right? So yeah, so the reflection is ongoing.
yes.
The point. That's the point. Okay, so guidance for those aspiring to adopt a transformative leadership approach in education. What advice would you give to educators and school leaders who want to embrace transformative leadership but are unsure on where to start?
That's a great question, Dr. Joy. So I will say, start with self-awareness.
Okay.
Understanding your values, your strengths, and areas for growth. That's number one. Okay. Build genuine relationships with your team. Communicate openly and don't be afraid to take risks and align with your vision. So another one of a, 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 a leader author that comes to mind that resonates when you ask this question is by Maxwell. And he says that transformative leaders don't just inspire, they empower others to become leaders themselves, right? So we have to empower, inspire, and making sure that in order to do that, that we ourselves as transformative leaders, we have self-awareness.
Yeah, well, that's key. Because if we don't know ourselves, then how can we help others find themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So you said, I have one last question, but you said that you had some exciting news. So you want to share?
I do. And hot off the press at the Dr. Joy right here. So one of the things in opening you were sharing about transformative leadership in schools, right? That's what my book is about.
Right.
So I'm actually partnering with someone well, uh, how do you say, he is a transformative leader in his right in the field of health and wellness. And
Okay.
we're going to be working on a second transformative leadership book, creating and sustaining a thriving work culture within the business sector.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. If I had a bell, I would ring it. That is huge. How do you feel about that?
Excited because as you started, you were sharing that, transformative leaders in schools, but it encompasses more than just the school, right? A school is an organization. So the same well, one of the things that you talked about also was that culture depends on the environment, right? The way
Right.
you move as a transformative leader in one school differs in another. So it's the same with the business, right?
Yes.
But the key is being transformative, taking those skills, that skill set, and moving and being a transformative leader. Because my goal is to make sure that we're all transformative leaders so that we can build thriving cultures everywhere.
Yes. Just doesn't have to be in school. It could be
Wow.
across the whole business sector. And trust me when I tell you, they need it. They need it. So how can the audience get in contact with you and also purchase your book? Do you have your book in front of you? Because I don't.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my book, I don't know if you can see it,
Oh, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Transformative Leadership, Creating and Sustaining a Thriving School Culture. You can purchase my book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Yes,
And you also, for those viewers and listeners that are in Dr. Burnett's area, I believe you have a book signing that is around the corner, correct?
yes, absolutely. So this is a culmination for me because my book signing event is September 20th.
Okay.
And it is being held at Kane. That's where I received my doctorate, Kane University, the Barnes and Nobles bookstore there on campus.
Wow. So this has really come full circle for you.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. That
Thank
is
you, Dr.
huge. Yes, that is.
Joy.
Okay. So is there anything else that you would like to share with me, the viewers, the audience, listeners?
Well, I just want to say, Dr. Joy, I so appreciate you and all that you're doing. You are an inspiration as well in the field, and I just respect what you're doing and appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Well, Dr. Shana Burnett, thank you for being a guest on the Joy of Living with Dr. Joy podcast. Much success to you and Innovate Ed and all of your future collaborations that are coming up. Okay, everyone, until next time, be blessed, stay healthy. See ya.